What's up, guys? So is all this IP complaint talk kind of making you second guess your Amazon business, or even making you think that maybe you should throw in the towel on Amazon? Well, before you quit, watch this video, because in it I'm going to explain what an IP complaint actually means for an Amazon seller, and then after that I'm going to also explain what my personal strategies are for protecting my business, and then at the very end I'm going to give a crucial tip to ensure that your business doesn't fail even if your Amazon account does get shut down. So for those who don't know, my name is Garrett, and I've been selling on Amazon for 3 years, going on my 4th year now, and last year I did just underneath 100,000 in revenue. So first off, what is an IP complaint? So an IP complaint essentially is a notification from Amazon that one of your product listings might be infringing on someone else's intellectual property rights, or IPs. So when intellectual property refers to like a creation of the mind, like books, inventions, and trademarks and stuff like that, that gives their creators legal rights to control how they're used. So in our case, it means that someone who is an author of a book doesn't want others profiting from their work, which we're doing that, but it's used. So it's a little strange how they are able to do that, because like once you buy the book, it isn't technically yours, but it's technically not. It's a weird legal mumbo jumbo stuff, but that's essentially what an IP is, intellectual property is. And so in IP or counterfeit complaints, it's just one of the many risks involved in selling on Amazon. And in any money-making venture you plan to go on, it carries risk. And, for example, like in your 9-to-5 job, you have the risk of getting like a horrible boss, and it makes your life miserable. And on top of that, you could get let go out of nowhere for whatever reason. In real estate, you have the risk of getting bad tenants or the market crashing, amongst other things for real estate. But even if you sell your own products, which is like said to be the safest way to sell on Amazon, which would be your private label sellers, you are still running the risk of going, in on a product by investing in this certain product, and then once it launches, you don't make your money. It doesn't sell like you think it's going to sell, and then you don't make any profit, or you don't even recoup your investment hardly. So no matter what, you're going to be incurring risk if you're wanting to make money. And selling on Amazon is no different. While it is a great platform for like scaling your business and stuff, IP complaints are always going to be a risk. And you need to acknowledge that and, manage it proactively. However, as long as you're not knowingly and actively listing counterfeit products, I don't think that receiving an IP complaint is as bad as it seems. And I say that from experience, because, everyone's experience is different. But from my experience, I haven't got an IP complaint in 3 years on books. I used to get them all the time whenever I was selling traditional OA products for new, but that's a whole different ball game. You're like dealing with IP complaints like all the time whenever you're doing that type of business. But after 6 months, as long as you don't get another IP complaint, it drops off. And it may even drop off if you get another one, I don't know. But after 6 months, it drops off, and it's not really that big of a deal. So what I'm pretty much trying to say is that your odds of getting 3 IP complaints, unless you're actively doing things that you're not supposed to, the odds of you getting 3 of them in 6 months is pretty low. Even for those bigger sellers that are selling, thousands and thousands of books per month, they're not, I don't know about per month, but crazy amounts of books per month. I don't know. They don't get IP complaints very often as booksellers, because people don't really. That's like I said earlier. It's used as a weird, like, gray area. It doesn't. I don't know. You own it, but you don't own it. It's a weird thing. Anyways, it's hard to get 3 IP complaints in 6 months. Is all I'm trying to say. So if you get 1, yes, that does like raise the risk, obviously, because now you only need 2 more. So it is a little nerve-wracking once you do get 1, and that does suck. But don't worry about it too much, because getting 3 is really hard. like I said, unless you're actively doing it on purpose. But anyways, so what am I changing? I am going to change up a little bit to protect my business a little bit more. And that's pretty much in the light of the two OG online arbitrage booksellers just received IP complaints, Joji Davenport and Victor Gallegos. Both of them have received IP complaints in the last month, a few weeks, but both of their experiences have taught me a lesson because they're both very different. Victor, he had an Amazon receipt and he resolved his complaint within like 4 hours or something like that. It was really quick. He just sent the Amazon their own receipt and said, hey, I bought it from you. You know, like, you're telling me that you're selling stuff that is counterfeit to me? And they're like, no. You're good. You know, it's pretty easy to see why Amazon would backtrack on that. But Joji had a different experience. So Joji explained that he was pretty much selling a book for his friend. And so there's no receipt with that. It's me saying, hey, can you sell this book for me? And then you being like, yeah, for sure. And then you put it on there and then boom, you get an IP complaint off of that book. And there's no way of proving how you received it. So you're SOL at that point, you know. And I think he's still dealing with that. Hopefully, maybe he'll come out with a video where he, updates how it went, but he might have to wait for 6 months until it drops out. I don't really know what the process is whenever you don't have a receipt, because I haven't dealt with an IP complaint without a receipt yet. So learning from those two people, to protect my business, I'm going to make a big significant change, because I have been buying off of eBay and every now and then Goodwill, and I'll send them in. And, I know the risk. I know it's not safe and stuff, but I'm still doing it because it's super profitable. You can find really good deals on eBay and Goodwill, but it's a very small percentage of my inventory that I do that with. Very, very small. So it would be wise and pretty easy for me to say, all right, I'm no longer going to be buying on eBay. I'm no longer going to be buying on Goodwill. I'm just going to buy on Amazon. That way I have, my ducks in a row. If I ever do get an IP complaint, I have a receipt that I can send right in. And, I think that's an easy sacrifice for me to make, since it's such a low percentage of my books that come from those other platforms. But that's just me, and that's the risk. That's the change that I'm going to make, because, it's pretty easy for me. But that being said, there is already something that I have been doing, and that it protects my store a little bit more. From day one, I've been diversifying. I haven't put all of my eggs in Amazon's basket, because in previous videos I've told you I don't trust Amazon with all of my money. I don't like to put all of my money in one basket. Now, diversifying super early is not recommended. You definitely want to focus down and grow your money in one spot and then move on to diversifying. And that's kind of what I'm doing. But like, eBay's super easy for me to diversify, because pretty much all the books that I'm not allowed to sell on Amazon, I'm allowed to sell on eBay. So if it looks good on eBay, then I'll go ahead and purchase the book, even though I'm gated in it, and sell it on eBay. And that's kind of how I've been building my eBay store. I don't do anything different. I just, source just like I'm sourcing for Amazon to Amazon. But every now and then I'll throw a Amazon to eBay type of sourcing. And, my eBay store is significantly smaller than my Amazon. But now with this information and this, little pivot that I'm going to take, I'm going to try to grow it a little bit more, a little bit faster, That's just... to me, that's a good sacrifice to make in order to ensure that your business doesn't fail. Your Amazon store could, and all that, but as long as you're still growing, and if it does get shut down, which again is very unlikely, but if it does get shut down, then you have something that you can pivot to and be like, okay, now I can make money here. But that's how I've been using Keepa and Bookmine to do all these sourcing. It's not anything different, like I said. But that's pretty much what I'm doing to make sure that I can keep my store going or my business going and everything. But let me know down in the comments below, like, if you faced IP complaints and how you dealt with it, or if you have strategies to protect yourself from IP complaints. I'd love to hear about your experiences and what you what you guys do. And if you're curious about how I source products from Amazon to sell on Amazon and eBay, check out this next video wherever it's going to be popping up. But thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.